Hi, I'll continue with paragraph 20 of the chapter on Trills in Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach's Versuch über die wahre Art das Klavier zu spielen. Unter den Fehlern, wovon die Triller die unschuldige Ursache sind, entdecken wir zuerst diesen. Indem viele die erste unter denen bei Figur 31 abgebildeten Noten mit einem Triller beschweren, ungeachtet die gemeiniglich über diese Passagen gesetzten Bogen dieses verhindern sollten. So verführerisch manchem diese Art von Noten scheinen möchte, so wenig leiden sie einen Triller. Es ist etwas Besonderes, dass durch eine unrechte Spielart gemeiniglich die besten und sangbarsten Stellen müssen verdorben werden. Die meisten Fehler kommen bei langsamen und gezogenen Noten vor. Man will sie der Vergessenheit durch Triller entreißen. Das verwöhnte Ohr will beständig in einer gleichen Empfindung erhalten sein. Es empfindet nicht anders als durch ein Geräusche. Man sieht hieraus, dass diejenigen, welche diesen Fehler begehen, weder singend denken können, noch jeder Note ihren Druck und ihre Unterhaltung zu geben wissen. Sowohl auf dem Klavichorde als auf dem Flügel singen die Noten nach, wenn man sie nicht zu kurz abfertigt. Ein Instrument ist hierzu geschickter verfertigt als ein anderes. Bei den Franzosen sind die Klavichorde sogar sonderlich nicht eingeführt. Folglich setzen sie ihre Sachen mehrenteils für den Flügel. Demungeachtet sind ihre Stücke voller Bindungen und Schleifungen, welche sie durch die häufigen Bogen andeuten. Gesetzt, die Zeitmaß wäre zu langsam und das Instrument zum gehörigen Nachsingen zu schlecht. So ist es doch allezeit schlimmer, einen Gedanken, der gezogen und matt vorgetragen werden soll, durch Triller zu verstellen, als etwas Weniges an dem deutlichen Nachklange einer Note zu verlieren, welches man durch den guten Vortrag reichlich wieder gewinnet. Es kommen überhaupt bei der Musik viele Dinge vor, welche man sich einbilden muss, ohne dass man sie wirklich hört. Zum Exempel, bei Konzerten mit einer starken Begleitung verliert der Konzertist allezeit die Noten, welche fortissimo akkompaniert werden müssen und die, wobei das Tutti einfällt. Verständige Zuhörer ersetzen diesen Verlust durch ihre Vorstellungskraft. Diese Zuhörer sind es, denen wir hauptsächlich zu gefallen suchen müssen. So, with this paragraph, there is a fair bit to talk about. You know, what we have here is Bach opening up a bit more. We're getting more of a sense of who he is with this paragraph. You know, before it was very delivering the goods all the time and you know, giving us the raw materials. And now he's sharing some of his thoughts. And you know, I think of this paragraph like, imagine you're given the chance to travel back in time. And then you travel back and you get to, I imagine, you know, Bach in a pub. And, you know, he's sitting there at the table and he's had a few pints. And so he's kind of relaxed and talkative. And let's say you get to travel back in time and you get to sit there with him. And then he starts talking, whatever is on his mind. Well, you'd want to remember every single word. If you actually got that experience, you'd want to remember every single word. You'd want to think about it. You know, you'd never want to forget what he says, and you'd want to examine it and figure it all out. You know, be the most important kind of experience you've ever had. And I'd think then, and so let's say what he said here in this paragraph was exactly the sort of thing he wanted was on his mind, sitting there in the pub, and that's what he decided to tell you extra. Like, let's say this is outside of the lesson. Well, I would think, what's the difference between you being there with him and he telling you that face to face, or him writing it down? So I think that him writing it down is just as important and deserves as much consideration as what he would say, were you there? And everybody could relate. Everybody would feel that way were they to get to sit with Bach in person and hear Bach talk, just tell you what he's thinking. Everybody would understand that as being important. But just because it's written down, it's like something that can be read and go, yeah, and forgotten about or glossed over, without really figuring out what it is he's talking about. So I want to talk about that a bit. He says a lot here, and I'll just start by looking at figure 31. You can see there's 3 examples there. I won't look at them individually. But Bach says that, of the mistakes of which trills are the innocent cause, this is the first we encounter. That many'll put a trill, I can't think of the word I want, but many'll put a trill on the first of those notes in each of those 3 examples, because they are tempting to do so, because they're long notes. And so the first thing Bach says is that the bow or the slur mark over those notes should be preventing this. And I said before regarding examples, that had a bow over them, I call them a bow, which is, the English for bogan, which is what Bach calls them. And I said before that the bows over the examples that go over 2 bars, that does not indicate that those notes are meant to be played legato, but rather indicates that the 2 bars are joined together. And so I put this forward as evidence to support my claim. And were those bows over those other examples, were they there to indicate that they're played legato? Well, then they would have prevented the trill. And I can't help it, but you know, let's say there'll be, you know, some, you're gonna find the professors or the teachers, you know, let's say you were to go try some of those examples in a lesson. The first thing they do when as soon as you know, you're probing, you're trying to figure out how are these examples actually meant to be played. And before you even make any kind of attempts, just judgment free, to try and find the correct answer, there'll be teachers or professors screaming at you, legato, play it legato. And right from the get-go, preventing you from finding the right answer because they haven't got a clue about that. And you can see with those teachers, you know, a little knowledge is a dangerous thing, and that's what all these professors, all those in the roll of honour, they possess little knowledge, and it's a dangerous thing. And you can see the only way you are going to start making progress is if they leave the room. Their presence immediately will hinder progress. So with the bow, with the slur mark over the notes, that indicates, that should prevent the player from ornamenting those long notes with a trill. And often they'll be there to indicate the most singable passages and what Bach refers to as the best passages. And if you think of Mozart's Sonata in B flat major, K281, if you look at bars 18 and 20, and you see those slur marks there, you can now, when you look at them, you can now look at them having extra information. You are able to read deeper into the score. And so you will know that one of the reasons Mozart has those bows, those bogen, the slur marks, will be so people like you and me don't ornament that note with a trill. And it's funny, you won't know this, you won't have heard this before. There'd not be a single person there who's out there who has heard in their lesson their professor telling them that. So it's only from listening to this will you be able to look at that spot and have that extra information, be able to read deeper in the score. You are getting to know what Mozart was actually thinking, what he had in mind when he had that bow. And when we consider this paragraph, there'll be even more there that you can know what Mozart had in his mind when he wrote that. And so there'll not be a professor out there who's told their student, or specifically you, about that. And it's funny, Lilliput, the roll of honour, they love to say about Mozart writing in the appoggiaturas so that people like you or me don't ornament the note. That's their favourite reason as to why Mozart has written in appoggiaturas. That's the only reason they have. I have never heard, in all my years, I have never heard any other reason than that Lilliput, that the roll of honour provides for Mozart's appoggiaturas. And I'll bet none spring to mind. If you're watching this, think of it. Think of what Lilliput has said. What else they've said regarding the appoggiaturas, other than, and I covered what they said, other than that they take half the value of the note. And if they're really advanced, they'll say they take 2/3 of the value of the note with a dotted note, and that they're there so people like you and me don't ornament that. That's the extent. And they might say appoggiatura means to lean. So that's it. Have I missed anything? And what's funny is here, you know, it like, as an example, in bars 18 and 20 in Mozart's Sonata, the first movement of Sonata in B flat major, K281, here are two places where Mozart actually did do something in order to prevent people like you and me ornamenting the note. There he actually did that. What Lilliput loves to talk about, to flex their muscles, to show their insight and expertise by saying that. Yet here is, and it's completely wrong. It's absolutely and 100% incorrect. Bach has talked about ornamenting appoggiaturas in his chapter on appoggiaturas. There is no validity whatsoever to Lilliput's claims. But here, in bars 18 and 20, is something Mozart has actually done to prevent people like you and me ornamenting the note. Lilliput should love that. This is what they love to say. They should be saying that. But listen to what Lilliput said about the bars 18 and 20 and about Mozart putting that bow there, that slur mark, so that people like you and me don't ornament that note. Listen to that, and all you will hear is the sound of crickets. There's nothing there. They don't say it. So, and as well, what Bach says there, and I don't really want to go into it because I don't know if I can't really express in words like in this thing. So first and foremost, I'll say that there is things about that to consider when considering the nature of the trill, its sits or its seat. This as well belongs to the sits of the ornament and what it does. One can get closer to to awareness, to understanding the insight regarding trills and their actual function. And about what Bach said about trills enliven the melody. Here is extra, you're getting a deeper insight into trills when you consider that. So I'll just play those examples now for the sake of, completion. Even though it might not really be necessary. So I'll end the video here and I'll pick up in the next one where I left off. Thanks. Bye.